Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of What SHU Doing alongside my illustrious co-host Paul Guarino.
What's up, brother?
I am Aaron Burrell and we are joined by a very special guest, Nicole. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course. No, it's a pleasure to have you. We've got a lot to get into today. So
A little terrified. Yeah, pasta's important to me.
we have
You didn't get my reference?
Hello. It went over my head.
Special teams, special players, special plays.
We're gonna keep moving. Anyhow, Nicole.
Yes.
So let's start. Why Sacred Heart?
Well, I went to school in West Islip in Long Island, New York. I went to high school at St. John the Baptist, and they have a college fair, as most high schools do, as I'm assuming. And my lovely mother came with me, and we were just walking around, and I have this odd, vague memory of when I was looking for a college at the time. And I was so nervous about what I was going to do for my next 4 years to the rest of my life. And I just walked up to the table. I spoke to somebody from there. And it ended up being one of the best conversations I ever had. And I looked at the pamphlet and I was trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do for my career now? I was looking at the options of programs that they offer here. And sports communication and media arts was one of the programs. And I was like, I've never even knew this is something you could get in a degree. I just thought it was experience. And my mom and I looked into it more and more, and I talked to my dad about it as well because my dad's a big sports fan too. And we just sat down and I was like, you know what, like making money or not, like this is what I want to do. And I toured Sacred Heart. I came with my dad that day and we walked around and I saw the campus and I was like, I can really see myself here for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, the campus changed a lot since like we've been here, so I can only imagine like coming here and seeing like this now because I don't remember how like I got sold on it, but like it was cool. Like I just thought it was cool because it was like college. It wasn't anything like that stood out. But like now I could see if you come here, it's like oh shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But so anyways, what was your out of college, like once you graduated, like what was your first job out of college?
My first job ever, which I have to thank whoever at Sacred Heart decided to send my resume one day because I actually did not even apply to my first job ever. Wow. And I remember sitting there when I got the message from MLB Network saying, hey, we really want to interview you. And the job's for a broadcast associate position. And I was like, am I being punked? Like, where's the camera crew? Like, what is going on right now? And I was freaking out. And I got that email and I had the phone conversation with the hiring manager and the staff. And then I ended up getting we're going to hire you. And I remember very, very well running outside to the pool area where my dad was because he was working in the backyard at the time. And I ran back there. Hysterical crying because I was so excited, and baseball is more of my dad's sport than my mom's. Mm-hmm. And I just cried at the fact that I was going to be working for a network that has been on my television for all these years, which is insane.
What was that first day like when you walked into the place that you always watched?
So being that it was COVID still, I actually did all my training from home.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, and my first shifts were all from home. And then eventually they started opening up the studio a bit more. So then I had to go to Secaucus, New Jersey and do the late night halls. But I remember walking in like the first day, you see people like Pedro Martinez walking around. You see Lauren Shahadi, you see D-Row and like all these big names. And you're like, these are like, they're real people. Like they're here. I do have to say the MLB staff was absolutely amazing because we also at the time had the contract with NHL Network. So I got to do both hockey and baseball. So cool. It was the best time of my life.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, what are you up to now?
Right now, I had left SNY almost 2 years ago, just because there was no full-time positions available, and I wanted to also learn social media. And it was important for me as a person who likes to learn. I want to know it all. I want to know every aspect behind the scenes. So I got hired from the U.S. Sun as a social media manager, which has been really interesting because I'm sure if you've seen the Sun's content, we do anything and everything. But I've been very, very lucky enough that I've made it known my interest is in sports. My allegiance is really with sports, not hard-hitting news. That's not what I really want to be doing. But it comes with the job. And I've been given amazing opportunities since I came on board to create the graphics, do the forward planning for bigger events, whether we're covering a fight or we're going to be doing the World Series. I'll always pitch out my ideas for stuff like that. But social media is so crucial, and it's becoming so important for the world that we're living in now. Sure. So having this experience from the Sun has been amazing because I know it's going to take me other places as well.
That's amazing.
Are you guys covering Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson?
Jake Paul's been in our news a little too much, and not that I really love it. It's very controversial.
So you think Mike Tyson's going to win?
I saw a video, and it said if Jake Paul wins, he's a loser, but if he loses, he's still a loser. So either way, this man's screwed, if I'm going to be completely honest.
You're talking to his number one fan over here.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, my God.
He's not his number one fan, but he is a fan. Anyhow.
I'm a follower.
He's a follower. I want to backtrack because I feel like we kind of just jumped from your first job at MLB Network to SNY, and then so how did you get to SNY from MLB Network?
So, by the way, I'm not that old.
That's why I was confused for a second.
My career path makes me seem a lot older than what I am. I'm 25. I'm not 35. Let's be honest. But I went from MLB Network to SNY Network because I had gotten a phone call from Mark Davis. Now, remind you again, I also did not apply to this job, or maybe I did in the past. I have no idea. But he had called me.
Where do you put your resume at? It's like, we need to know.
He's like, I want to put mine.
I don't know. I'll let you know. I have no idea. I think, the universe works in mysterious ways, and I've just been absolutely blessed.
Do you have, like, superpowers or something?
I mean, if I could, I want to be a Spider-Man. But I remember I was saying in the Women in Sports event tonight that I was on a train to Secaucus, New Jersey, going to my quick pitch event. I was going to work that night for quick pitch, and I was going to cut all the highlights that were going to come from it. And I got a phone call from Mark Davis at SNY, and he said, "Hey, Nicole." And I was like, who is this? I'm so weird about answering numbers I don't know.
Yes.
And so many spam calls now, too.
For some reason, I was like, you know what? Let me answer this. And I answered it. And he's like, "Hey, Nicole, this is Mark Davis from SNY. How are you?" And I was like, huh? I was like, the SNY? I'm a big Mets fan. Like, you don't mess around with me like that. And he's like, yeah, Mark Davis from SNY. Like, I would like to potentially talk to you about, if you're willing to look for another job opportunity. And they had talked to me about this amazing position. And at the time, I didn't have any producing experience. I mean, let's be honest. I was 22 at the time, 23. So I'm still very, very young. I don't have that footing. And I think one of the best things is he really took a chance on me because whatever I put in that resume, which I'll let you look at it. You can see if there's something great. You can see if there's something great in that resume.
You must have the keywords locked in.
I have no idea, but
keywords.
Buzzword
AI.
expert.
No, she must have wrote it with AI.
But he basically said to me that he was willing to take a chance on me. Again, I was the youngest person on that team walking in that door, and we were a small team. So I got brought on for the SNY New York Post partnership, which was broadcasted on Twitter, homepages everywhere, part of article links. I did a lot of footwork. And there was only 4 producers hired at that time, but you were a solo producer when you were on that shift. And it was terrifying putting on that headset and being like, oh, I'm running the show. Oh, I got to work with my talent, Dexter and Brandon now, and I got to learn how to communicate with them. And, I really do have to say the people at SNY are amazing because Dexter and Brandon have been absolutely phenomenal because it was the first time I worked hand in hand with talent. And I learned a lot of great experience with them because they sat down with me and taught me script writing. They taught me basically like how they like their things done, but also like what to carry with me to take on to the next person. Because luckily enough, working with that partnership, Mark really took a liking to me, and I'm grateful for him every day. And so did Gus. Gus also helped me a lot along the way as well, and built my confidence to be a producer. But you know, these wonderful men took a chance on me, and they also allowed me at the time work for Carton and Roberts and do the producing on that, and work with doing the advertisements and stuff like that, which was really, really cool, and getting to see how that show ran. So now I was back in live sports production. It was a great time.
Wow. Full circle.
Yeah, I've done a lot. I don't know how. I'm only 25.
That's a good
I'm
thing.
stressing that. I'm not old, I promise.
Yeah. That's like, what, the fourth mention?
Yeah, I'm not.
The mystery resume, the 25.
The math isn't mathing. That's all.
I think just because I never said no to things either. I think that's so important. Like, I constantly said yes to almost everything here, unless if I was going home for something.
That just reminds me of that movie when, I think it was, I forgot who it was, but, and he has to say yes to everything.
Oh, Yes Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Literally, it's called Yes Man.
Yeah. You're saying yes.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, as you move into social media, what made you like want to prompt that? Obviously, you know, we live in an era where social media is dominating. It's conversation with friends, whatever. But what made you be like, I want to work in social media?
I wanted the challenge. I think I've challenged myself my whole life. I am never afraid to take risks in almost anything, I would say. I mean, minus being on television. That's the one thing that scares me, and might steer clear from. But basically, social media is so crucial to boosting your traffic. And I also really, really wanted to learn data analytics. That was important to me because obviously all these networks drive on analytics and where their demographic is. So I really wanted to hone in on, you know, where are we going to go in the next hour? I wanted that stress and anxiety to be able to sit down and be like, okay, like, breaking news happens, but like, how are we going to properly format this? And where is it going to go? I wanted that adrenaline rush of being able to learn the legal side of social media and learning how to properly come across. But I also wanted to figure out what our audience likes. Like, what are people interested in? Which is really weird when you look at it.
Anything at this point.
No, people are interested in a lot of weird things. I can tell you that much. But it's very important to me to constantly challenge myself.
Gotcha. And what is the challenge like working? I know The Sun is a UK-based media company. What is the challenge as being US-based? Do you have teams that you're working with over in England, or is it everything?
Oh, we constantly work with the UK team. If we have breaking news happening here, we have to be able to cross-post it to them. We are currently working together on our YouTube channel for the community settings, which is basically they take over our overnights because it's their day, and we take their day because, you know, it's just easier. But we always work with them. They basically are the mother of the US Sun, and a lot of our staff is from the UK Sun. So it's very interesting to see how it really is a 24/7 news because say if something happens overnight and, you know, for instance, the Matthew Perry thing, the Kate Middleton, and all that kind of stuff, you want to be able to get it out to your audience. So we communicate, like, if something like that happens and they're not on the clock or we're not on the clock, like, we're working together even though we're in separate parts of the world.
That's crazy.
Have you seen on social media, since you guys are posting all the time, is it one page or separate pages?
So we work with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, and I'm missing something. But, like, our pages, like, our Facebook page, we have, like, 16 pages we're crossing over. Like, we manage a lot in one sitting. And we started doing WhatsApp, which has been a little interesting because you're basically texting your audience in a sense. So it's very interesting to see how that kind of corresponds. But it's been helping traffic, which is good.
Oh, that's interesting. I want to make sure we leave time as well for what do you call it? Fun?
Oh, wait, hold on. But before we get to that, what advice would you give to younger students trying to get a job?
Definitely try everything and anything. I mean, coming from somebody who really had their mindset on being a sports reporter. Yeah. And then I had my first internship ever. I don't think it's still a thing, but I worked here in this building at CT Sports Now, which is how I met a lot of amazing people. And I learned the entire behind the scenes. I fell in love with the audio booth, honestly. But don't be afraid, because I remember when I went to MLB, I never was big in video editing. Like, I did it, but, like, I didn't love it. And then all of a sudden I see my stuff on screen and I'm crying and having a blast, and it's the best time ever. But don't be afraid to say no, and also make sure you take as much opportunities as possible, but make sure it's the right fit for you.
For sure.
That's great. That's great advice.
You ready for Fun SHU?
Oh, yeah.
See?
Also, how do you feel about the name?
Fun SHU. It's lit.
Sounds like something Mushu would say. It gives me Mushu vibes.
All right.
Never seen Mulan?
Not really.
Okay, that's just wrong. Please watch Mulan.
Put it on my agenda. Anyways, so what was your favorite dorm room?
Well, I lived in Merton freshman year before it looked like Merton. But, like, Merton was a lot of fun, but gross at the time. It wasn't new and improved as it is now. I was a little jealous. I was on the phone with my mom
it's new
earlier.
and improved?
Oh, it's new and improved. You gotta pass by it if you haven't seen it. Merton's gorgeous. It's gorgeous right now. I'm a little jealous. But,
wow.
Honestly, North was one of the best ones, I gotta say, because
I'm Team North.
North, you got to spread out. Yeah. And then you also have all your buddies in one spot, and then you can also just cook and have a full kitchen, which is nice.
Yeah.
This is like North's spokesperson.
I'm Team North.
He is big Team North. Like Team North till the day he dies.
I mean, rightfully so.
I legit wanna rent North out and have all my roommates for like a weekend. Like my old room. It'd be lit. What was your favorite dining hall?
Ooh, JP's Diner when it opened up, I gotta say, because coming from Long Island, diner food's important to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That is
last one. What was your you had Professor Miller, right?
I did.
Give us a story.
Oh, I don't even know if I have one. I mean, I have
anything funny he does.
I mean, he's always running around. That man's like the Flash. I mean, you see him 1 second and he's gone. Like, you could be talking to him and you turn around, he's just doing something. I was like, where'd you go? And he really does it all, I have to say.
He does.
And it impresses me all the time.
I'm Team Miller, too.
There's so many wonderful professors here, I gotta say.
Truly. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. We hope you've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to get you back after you... Well, actually, I don't know if we can announce it because we were talking off camera.
Yes.
So we'll save it. We can announce...
AB.
Insider information.
Yes, we got some insider information, which we can announce next time.
Hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. We'll speak it into existence. We can announce it next time. But this has been another episode of What You Doing. We appreciate you. We'll see you all next time.